So let's try a new overhead layout. Okay, this is video number 3 on using the Solitaire Toolkit. Last video we did the setup for this, which is a German reconning force right at the beginning of Barbarossa, 1941. So the rules I'm going to play on this is mostly retro. The difference being is what I will do is I will be using the fire tables from Advanced Squad Leader, because that's what this setup is, for those that don't recognize it. So the turn order is going to be rally, move, fire. No, only those units that didn't move can fire. Defensive fire from from side number 2, and then any close combat. That's basically the way that turns work. I set this up so this is going to be a 10-turn game. Here we see the Germans have moved. I was going to set them up on this, and then I just thought, well, they're just going to advance through the trees here. The tanks are going to be on the road, following the road. Here we can see the Russians. This is the forward picket line of the Russian company. So, but the Germans aren't quite sure where they are. They know the Russians are sitting here in this village, but there's going to be a picket line. That's where the hidden, if you look at the last video, we had a bunch from the fog of war that we rolled up in the toolkit. We had some hidden markers. We also broke one platoon into some half squads to give them proper picket line numbers. So, for example, here's a house, might be Russians in it. This building might be Russians in it. Here's a stone building, probably have Russians in it. And again, large wooden house. And some trees back here may have Russians in it, just to finish off that picket call. So, as per the scenario we rolled up, the Germans get a surprise attack, which means they get 2 whole turns without the Russians being able to do anything. So I think that's where we're going to start turn 1. For those of you that are not familiar with Advanced Squad Leader, a very quick outline is there are 3 numbers on the infantry. For example, the Germans are 4, 6, 7s. 4 is the firepower of the squad, 6 is the range, and 7 is the morale. So, and on support weapons, it's firepower, range. Basically, because we're using the slimmed down retro rules, there's a lot more stuff that goes into Advanced Squad Leader, but I just don't have the time anymore or the energy. So, this is going to be a fluid narrative battle. If I start getting bogged down, I'll just kick it along and make sure it just keeps rolling and moving. If I make mistakes, my apologies. It happens. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and get going with turn 1, which is going to be the Germans advancing. Again, the Germans have 2 turns, so let's get them going. Let's get these going first. Tanks just going to come down, rumble down the road. They have a movement of 14. So they're on the road, which is half a movement point. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think we're going to park him. So he's going to park here. Get that facing right. He's also got the platoon leader. Now, because they moved, they cannot fire, so that's the tank's move. The infantry, so this is, if we look, because it's got the heavy machine gun, this is the HQ platoon, which I'm going to leave back because they can catch routers, hopefully. Kind of a waste for HMG, it might move that forward, but let's go to... Now, the way retro works, if I move within line of sight of an enemy in the open, I have to roll a test to see if they freeze or not. But if we use the shadow of this building, well, we're still gonna, you know, let's flank around here. We can take a squirt into there if we need to. And also we've got the tanks as backup. So yeah, we're gonna pull this forward one, so we can take a squirt with a machine gun as well into that house. These guys are gonna go to 4. And then we can square into there, see what's there. Here's the fun part with all the open ground here. Now, here's the thing. I know I've got a surprise thing, but really the Germans wouldn't. So I'm going to try and play it as if, you know, the Russians would have a turn. To see, they think there's some there, maybe there or there. They're going to sit tight and wait to see if we get a reveal. And these guys are going to move up. So, just so I remember, these guys moved. So we go here's 3, 4, and then 2. So all of those move. That's basically turn 1 because, well, no one's really gonna fire yet. So defensive fire is none. So that ends really turn 1. So now we're on turn 2, which is the second German. So here we go. This is the second. Let's take these off. Rally phase. So who's going to move? Who's going to fire on turn 2? He's in open line of sight. So the way this works, he's going to have a 6. Yeah. On a roll of a 6, they freeze. Nope. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they make it to that building. He's going to fire. Reality, these guys will wait till they discover what's in there. Yeah, they're gonna hold tight. 4, he's gonna carry on. They're gonna squirt. Six. Okay, that one was out of range of those, normal range of those, so they don't have to do a freeze check. So that's everybody on the German side. Moves that I'm gonna move. So now gets the shooty part. So these have got 75mm guns firing HE. So 75mm. We pull the table over. That's a firepower of 12. And then there's a +2 because they're in the trees. So he's going to take a pop at them. $10 on 12 is nothing. Pin check, there is no pin in retro. But because they had a check, we have to reveal, yep, there's someone in there. 75, that's a +2, so that's again a 12 +2, -1 +1 on the 12. So it's 10 on 12 again, is a pin check, but we can take this off. And we're going to do the same here, firing into that building. 8 +2 is 10 on 12 is a pin check, which I'm not using. So that's all the tanks fired. They can't fire, they moved. These guys didn't move. 1, 2, 3. They do have a line from dot to dot. I'll call it range of 6. Yep, so we got a firepower of 4 plus 2. That's 10 on 4. Is a nothing. Now, let's square with these. 3, so it's a firepower of 7. No, there's 2 squads there. 8 plus 3, that's an 11, so it's firepower of 8. Drops down. Plus 2, oh no, it's plus 3. Stone building. 10, 13, nothing. We don't even get reveal. These guys are going to combine because they're together and they have an officer, so it's a 4, 8, another firepower 8. Well, actually they can't see. Well, it's a fun thing, line of sight. Okay, what was I looking for? Line of sight. Man, that's a thick old line, but I'm going to call that good. So we can combine these. 4. Yep, that's going to be a firepower 8 altogether, plus 3. Nope, nothing. Didn't even clear to see who it was. And then the last shot's going to be here, 4. With the leader, it's just firepower of 4. Plus 2, wooden building. Ooh, that's a 5 and a 4. Morale minus 1, so that definitely gets rid of that. And then they have to have, they've got a morale of 7, so minus 1, 6 or less. Yep, they're still good. Alrighty. But it's a half squad, so. So it's turn 2. Done. But the Russians will get a defensive fire at least this turn. So, that's our squad. We're screwed with the tank's not really worth it, is it? These guys are going to stay put. They're going to fire. These guys are just going to lay 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just going to close in. All they've seen so far is half squad, so 1, 4. So they have moved. This guy's going to get here. He's moved and cannot fire. Alright. Everybody that's moved, can move, has moved. So, let's open up. So it's a minus 1 leader. There you go. So it's a 2 and 5, firepower 7. So it drops down to 6 plus 3 because of the stone house. So it's a plus 3, but they got minus 1, so it's only a plus 2 on a firepower 6. 7 plus 2 is 9 on 6 is nothing. God, we don't know what's in that house yet. Right, firing. So it's a minus 1. So basically we've got a half. Well, half squads. So half squads, if I remember right, half squads don't get their firepower if they're using a support weapon. So basically it's a straight support weapon, which is a 5, which is a firepower of 4 because we don't have a 5. So, but they got plus 2 because of the house, minus 1 because of the leader, plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7 on a 4. Nope, pin check. Doesn't count, we're not pinning. So he's fired. I'll mark he's fired because I'll forget. These guys, we've got a 4, 8, 11, firepower 8. Target's in a stone building, it's a plus 3. 7 and 10 on 8. Am I doing 8? Nope, nothing. These guys have moved. 4, 7, 5 power 6, plus 2 in the house. 7 plus 2 is 9. Nothing, my word. And again, 4, 5 power 4 plus 2, just for sure. Oh, 12, are you kidding me? So on a 12, something bad happens, but they don't have a machine gun or anything. So they're lucky. Normally on a 12, that means your support weapon breaks, but they don't have one. There was a rule somewhere in the midst of time that the squad breaks, but I think they got rid of that. So I'm not going to use that. So, what hasn't fired? The tanks. Alright, let's open up. Oh, let's just knock everything everywhere. I don't know why I'm looking. They've all got 75s. So, 75. So that's 5 power 12 plus 2. Minus 1 because of the commander. So it's plus 1 on the 12. 8 on 12, I do believe. That is morale minus 1. So let's look what we got here. So morale minus 1, let's do the leader. So 6 or less. 7, nope, he breaks. And 6 on the squad. 8, they break. So he's fired. I might as well just throw another one in there. See if we can kill him. So that's 70, that's a firepower 12, plus 2. 10. Pin check. Ah. Alrighty, that is the Germans done. The Russians now get a defensive fire. So, he's not gonna fire, obviously. They can't, they're broke. These guys, there's nobody there. Get rid of that. They're gonna assume there's no one there because they're not getting shot at. However, these guys got firepower of 2. They're in the woods, so... Well, it's not woods, it's orchard. Which I think is a plus 1. So let's just do... Oh, firepower. There's a 3 on a 2. And then plus 1. It's a morale minus 1. So... to 7 or less, and he's fine. He's good. But the squad, 7 or less, they get a 6. They're good. And he's going to do the same, plus 2 with a 5 power 2. 10 on 2 doesn't do it. So, Russian defensive fire is over. We are now on turn... No, we're not. Still on 3. Now it's the Russians' turn. So first off is a rally. So leaders can try and rally on their own. So 7 or less on the rally. He rallies. Now because he's rallied, he can try and rally these guys with a 7 or less. Not at 11, nope. So they are now going to route further away. Right there. So that's all we need to do on the rally phase. So now it's the Russians' movement. Now here's the thing. The Russians in the toolkit have a dig in order. So they are not going to move around too much. I printed off the AI sheet here. And they had the static defense. So as far as these guys in the village, they can hear firing. So they know something's going on. I guess what I'm going to do is see what they do. Which is a 6. Prioritize long-range fire over movement. Okay. So they're pretty much going to stay dug in. And you know what? I think these guys are just going to leg it. Because I know I would. So So 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. They're just going to leg it here. But here they're in line of sight in the open. So on a 6 they freeze. Nope. There we go. They move back. So they've moved. They've moved. He's going to move back with these guys. And they're going to move back to here. That's the movement, basically. So the Germans get a defensive fire turn. I'm going to throw a round in there. 75, 5 power 12 plus 2 because of the building. That's 10 plus 2 is 12. Nope. See, that's the trouble about taking shots every time. If I roll a 12, that gun's out of action. So you have to kind of think if it's worth it. But he's going to as well. 12 plus 2, he's got the -1 lead, so it's only a +1 on 5 power 12. 8 on 12. It's morale -1. So we've got 6 on the leader who's still good. He's okay. And then 7 on the broken ones. They're okay. Which is fine. That's a stone house, but it's all good. Ends well. That's it. So now we're on turn 4.